Jagrative, Jaya Masters. The path is actually very, very simple. Not simple to do, but simple to walk, to comprehend. We make it very, very complicated. The clues are there all the time. I've laid it out for you before. If you get what you want, you're happy. Anywhere from this is good to ecstatic. If you get what you want. If you don't get what you want, you're disappointed. Anywhere from disappointed to really down. If you get what you don't want, you're not in good shape. Anywhere from disturbed to depressed. Can anybody relate to that? If you don't get what you don't want, you're relieved. Those are your clues. You have to watch. You will notice that that is always true. I call that a truth table. 4 quadrants of a truth table. Getting what you want, not getting what you want, getting what you don't want, not having to get what you don't want. That's your life. That's all. Now what are you going to do about it? Try to get what you want. Seriously. You're going to try and get what you want. What is society going to teach you? Try to get what you want. What are your life coaches going to teach you? How to try to get what you want. That's what you're taught here. How to get what you want. And how to avoid what you don't want. Rage, rant, be powerful, be empowered. Take what you want. Push away what you don't want. Make sure you got it straightened out. That is what you are taught. You don't have to be taught it. School doesn't teach you that. School gives you powers and tools and so on so you can get what you want. Right? They call it success. What is success? Getting what you want. What is not success? Not getting what you want or ending up with what you don't want. You know what you want, don't you? It lets you know, doesn't it? How do I know what I want? You know what you want, okay? Because if you're not getting what you want, your mind never stops talking about it. I want this. How can I get this? How come she got it and I don't get it? Okay? And if you get what you don't want, holy mackerel, you're miserable. Your heart hurts. Somebody leaves you that you want. You can't attract somebody the way you want to. These are deep spiritual truths. I'm telling you, you don't need to know anything else. You need to be conscious and notice that this is the truth. It is the truth. And then you need to look around and say, okay, this is the truth. Well, there's some people who get what they want. I want to be like them. Do you really? Go out to Hollywood. See whether they do drugs. See whether they get married and divorced. See whether they fight with each other. See whether they get sued. See whether come. You really want that life, do you? All right? Go be a very powerful person like Hitler and screw everything up for everybody. Or some strong person around today that just sits there and says, I know what I want and I'm powerful enough to get it. I have money. I have power. How you like that? You want to be like that? And you start looking at it and saying, something's wrong. How do I know something's wrong? Because everybody is trying to get what they want and everybody is trying to avoid what they don't want. Well, that's not a problem. Sure it is, because nobody agrees. They don't agree. I'm going to go real slow because I want you to get it. Spirituality is not complicated. This is the foundation. And people say, why are there wars? Come on, John Lennon. Imagine all the people living life at peace, sharing all the world. Well, you imagine it all you want, but it ain't going to happen. Well, this is going on. Because imagine all the people trying to get what they want. Go look at it. It's everywhere. Everywhere. I'm asking again. Imagine all the people, 8.5 billion of you, trying to get what they want and avoid what they don't want. All right, well, if everybody agreed, it wouldn't be so bad. We don't agree. Okay, so now we're going to go a step deeper. That's the starting point. The Buddhists say work at the root. That's not the root. Those are the flowers. Those are the leaves that are way out here. That's kind of like how you are by default. How you like that? By default, you're that way, because if you don't do it, you suffer. If you don't get what you want, you're not happy. If you get what you want, you are. So, of course, I want to be happy. And, of course, I don't want to suffer. Anybody want to suffer instead of being happy? Nobody. Nobody. Not Putin, not anybody. No matter what you look at. So, no matter how bad it looks, they're trying to get what they want and avoid what they don't want. All right, so let's get down to it. Why do you want what you want? Why do you get happy when you get what you want? How do you know what you want? How did you decide what you want? Guess what? You didn't. I don't care how free and liberated you think you are. You did not decide what you want, and you did not decide what you don't want. What did? Your past. Your wants and not wants are the sum of your learned experiences. That's what Skinner said. But he said, you are the sum of your learned experiences. No. Your psyche is the sum of your learned experiences. You're the one in there that notices. That notices that if you get what you want, you get happy. You don't get what you want, you get upset. All right. So how did you decide what you want and you don't want? You had experiences. It's not so complicated. Freud got it right. Mommy did this. Daddy did this. Your first boyfriend did this in 5th grade, and then this one did this, and your ex-husband did that, and your ex-wife did that. And I'm telling you right now, if you date somebody who has characteristics at all that look like your ex, you don't like that person. If their name is the name of your ex, I've had enough Sams for the rest of my life. I don't need to deal with this stuff, all right? You are that way, yes or no? Yes. Go to Hawaii. Go to Hawaii. People love going on their vacations to Hawaii. It's a phenomenal place to go, unless you happen to go when the volcano's going off and your hotel is at the base of the mountain. I guarantee you, you will never go back to Hawaii. And it doesn't need to be a volcano. Just have it rain the whole time. Have there be a roach in the hotel room. You will never go back to Hawaii. You'll never go back to the hotel room. Your likes and dislikes are the sum of your learned experiences. So we accepted the first part about the truth table. So you get what you want, you're okay, you don't, etc. Right? That was pretty solid. I don't see anybody resisting. Do Catholics agree? Yes. Do Jews agree? Yes. Do Muslims agree? Absolutely. It doesn't matter what it is that you want. If you get it, you're happy. If a drug addict gets their drug, they're happy for a while. And if they don't get their drug, they're really unhappy. And not just a drug addict, a cigarette smoker, a drinker. Isn't it all the same? So that's the foundation that's going on out here. What caused that? What caused that was your past experiences. You've had past experiences. Go to work and have a good day. How are you when you come home? Loving, open, let's go do something. Go to work and have a really bad day. How are you? Give me a drink. You're programmed by the experiences that happen. The experiences of today are shallow programming. The longer term ones that you were not able to handle in the past are still in there. People said things that were nice. People did things, this happened, that happened. That's Freud. He figured that out. That things happen in your past that you were not okay with, and therefore you are not okay letting them happen. But they did happen. I get very confused. You understand? I'm a very logical person. They did happen. How do you know? Because they're bothering you. If they didn't happen, they wouldn't be bothering you. They obviously happen. But it's not okay that they happen. Yes, it is. Why? Because they happen. There, that's a rational, healthy person. They really did happen. That's your starting place. But that's not your starting place. Your starting place is resistance. We're going to keep going deeper and deeper. No, it's not okay that this happened. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. It wasn't just. It's not nice. I don't have to put up with this. Guess what? It doesn't matter if it's fair. It doesn't matter if it's just. It doesn't matter if it's nice. And you do have to put up with it. Why? Because it happened. I'm telling you, it's binary. Either it happened or it didn't happen. If it didn't happen, don't worry about it. It didn't happen. If it did happen, you're never going to make it not have happened. Take it back. It doesn't matter. I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to say that. It doesn't matter. You're going to be so sensitive next time. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. There's no getting rid of it except one way. I accept that this happened. It's part of reality. It came into me and it made it through. Now I can deal with it. But first, I accept it and it made it through. That's the only way that a healthy person stays healthy. Why? The alternative is so clear, it's unbelievable. The alternative is, it happened outside. It did. It came in through my senses, and it entered my consciousness. It entered my mind. What did I do? I said no. 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 I can't handle this. Remember, it already happened. So you can't make it not have happened. But what you can do is not experience it fully. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Einstein said so about the physical plane. It's also true of all the planes. It's just energy. The energy of the event came into you. Did the event come into you? No. No, it's outside. It didn't come into you. It's made of atoms. No event ever came into you. It came in through your senses, got turned into nerve impulses that got passed back to the brain, and the consciousness stares at the brain, just like you stare at your computer screen. Is that what's happening on your computer screen, the ball game you're watching or the song, whatever it is? Is it actually coming into you? No, you're looking at it. Your consciousness is experiencing But the actual physical stuff's not coming into you. If there's a ball game going on in San Francisco and it's playing on your TV screen, is the ball game coming into your room? No. The ball game's out there. What's happening is a camera and microphones are picking up the vibrations. They're turning them into signals. They're sending them to satellites wherever, and they're coming down and they're rendering on your screen. That's what's happening inside of you. It's out there. It stays out there. It does not come inside. It does not come inside. What comes inside? The experience of it coming in through your senses. So it comes in. Now it's in there. How are you doing with it when it's in there? What do you mean? Are you? Oh, I forgot to ask you. Are you in there? Anybody in there? Hello? Anybody home? Okay, you're home. What does it mean? I'm a conscious being. I'm aware. That harmonium doesn't know that I'm here. The Kleenex doesn't know I'm here, but I know it's there. I'm a conscious being. I have awareness, and it's inside. So the experience comes in, and it is for you to experience. Well, what if I'm not experiencing? It's not a problem. When you go to sleep, who knows what's going on in your house or anything like that? You're sleeping, it's not a problem. When you wake up, it may be a problem. But when you're not there, it's not a problem. Your consciousness is elsewhere. It's in your dreams. So because this experience is coming in and you are conscious of it, you have a choice. Believe it or not, you have a choice. Experience it or resist it. I'm telling you, I'm a computer guy. It's all binary. You either are experiencing what came in, it's there, but I don't have to experience it. Psychology has all kinds of names. I can suppress it. I can repress it. I can deny it completely. There's something in the Bible that says you have free will. You do have free will. You in there, the consciousness, the awareness of being. You have the right to try to resist the event that took place. You have the right to accept what took place. You are the end user. Aren't you the end user? You're the final recipient of whatever came in through the senses and passes it back in there. If you accept it, guess what happens? It becomes an event. Now here, I'm telling you, I like telling you this, by the way, that every single one of you are 99.9% enlightened. If enlightenment means the ability to let everything pass through and experience the wholeness of life passing through you, 99.9% of everything you ever experienced, you did that with. The trees that you drive by, how many were there? Oh, thousands and thousands. The white lines on the road, the people that you don't know, the cars that drive by in LA on the expressway, they're all coming in and going through, aren't they? You are experiencing them, aren't you? They're there. They say under, I don't know if it's true, but they say under deep hypnosis, you literally can talk about the white lines you drove by. They all came in and you stored them, but you stored them as memory, like a computer memory. The computer can bring back anything, but it does it when you ask it to. Okay, now we're going to make that distinction here. So the world comes in and you have free will. And the vast majority of it, you're fine with. You don't touch it. Therefore, it passes through. But some of it doesn't. You're at a party or a restaurant. Everybody's talking. They're all saying something. You do hear it. But there's somebody next to you saying, I want to talk to you honestly tonight. Oh, that one you hear, don't you? That didn't just go right through, did it? But the majority of every single thing comes into your senses, passes right through. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay? All right. So what is the difference between the one that didn't? You! They're all just sounds. I want to try to explain this to you. I make you think like this, right? Do you understand that a cow can make certain sounds? They go, "Rrr." They make various sounds, okay? But there's only so many sounds they can make, all right? You guys can make a phenomenal amount of sounds. Oh my God, it goes all over the place. And some of your sounds are like this. That's a sound that my vocal cords are making. Wow. And you care what sound comes out of somebody's mouth? I love you. I hate you. Same. They're noises. They're just noises that came out of somebody's mouth. Wow, I don't understand. I always tell you, what if there's a button? And from now on, when you push that button and somebody's saying something you don't like, they start saying it in a language you don't speak. It's fine then, isn't it? Okay. In other words, it's you doing this. It's not what's happening. It's the fact that you're in there and there's stuff that comes in that you don't want to happen. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. I don't want this to have happened. But I told you, it did happen. This is the magic moment. By the way, this is the fall from the garden. It was called, you ate of the tree of self-knowledge. Self-knowledge means I am separate from the rest of the universe, and I get to decide what I want and what I don't want. It's the beginning of preference, the beginning of standing in there saying, I don't care if it happened, I don't want it to have happened. Okay, well then you're in trouble. You're in trouble. For how long? For the rest of your life. Go ask Freud. They took my blanket away too soon. I don't like it. Now I hate blankets, or I love blankets. It's unbelievable. It's so simple. Catch on to what's going on. You are in there. You have free will. The events that happen in front of you, I'm sorry, you're not in charge. You can make some minor things, but don't sit there and say, why does it rain on my birthday? The rain doesn't know it's your birthday, and it's not raining because it's your birthday. But you say that, and you mean it, and you get upset. I can't get anything the way I want. One day I set up for my wedding to be outside and hadn't rained for weeks and didn't rain afterwards. God doesn't like me. What are you doing? You want to find out why it rained? Go study meteorology. You want to find out why he said I don't like you? Go talk to his parents. Go see what his upbringing was. Find out everyone he dated. Find out everyone who dumped him. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. You're just a moment in somebody's life and they're dumping on you. Dumping what? Their entire history of everything that ever happened to them. So you don't have control over the events that are unfolding. You have some, so minuscule it's ridiculous, but we'll talk about that later. Things are unfolding because of the forces that made them unfold. And those are infinite and they're amazing. I explained it to you in the new book. If your great-great-great-grandmother did not meet your great-great-great-grandfather, you're not here. And that goes for every event that ever happened in the universe. The moment in front of you is the sum total of all the things that ever happened before. If there wasn't a Big Bang, let's not talk about it. You don't have to talk about why was there a Big Bang, what does that mean? Just understand if there wasn't this thing called a Big Bang, which we've traced it back to, none of you are here. Nothing's here, nothing. And everything that happened subsequent to that, all the events that coagulated together and merged together, and everything that ever thought and did and everything results in the moment that's in front of you. If you're driving your car and you get in an accident because your brakes didn't work, why didn't the brakes work? Well, it was made over in Germany, and the person had a fight with his wife the night before, so he drank more than he should have, and he was supposed to turn that one screw on your brake pads, and we didn't get torqued properly. There. 5 years later, there you are. So the world unfolding in front of you is a phenomenal thing, but you can't handle it. Why? Because you have built inside yourself preferences and concepts and views and opinions that said, I have the right to have it the way I want. Good luck. No one has ever got it the way they want. Ever. I mean, for a moment, yes. But it's not going to stay that way. It can't stay that way. It keeps moving. So you're in here, and you have the right to either accept or resist the experience that came into you as an energy passing through your senses. And you resist. What happens if I resist? It stays in there. I've taught you this. As the new book goes very deep into this. If you resist it, it stays in there. The Hoover Dam is resisting the Colorado River. Guess what happens? It better have a lot of people maintaining it for a very long time because that river's trying to flow through. That dam's not going to stay there. What happens if there's a little tiny hole in the dam? The Colorado River tries to come out. There's a leak. No, there's not a leak. It's the river trying to push its way through. If you resist the energy of an event that comes into you, any energy, I don't care if it's fair or not, it has nothing to do with it. I don't have to talk about fair or just. I just have to say, did it happen? You can't make it not happen because it wasn't fair. That doesn't change that it happened. It happened. We can analyze it later. But right now, it is a reality of an event that took place. Either you accept that it took place or you resist that it took place. What happens if you accept that it took place? The same thing as the other 99.9% of everything that you let come in and pass through. It passes through. My parents got divorced when I was young. What effect did that have? I had two fathers. I had two mothers. I moved. Is that okay? When was it okay? It's what happened. What happens if you don't accept it? What if you resist it? I don't want them to get divorced. It's terrible. I want my mommy and daddy to stay together. Then you resist it. And what happens? It stays in there. Freud gave it a name, suppression. What he didn't study is what is the power within you that has the right to suppress. What is suppressing? He studied what got suppressed and what effect it has because it got suppressed. I want to know who's suppressing. Who's the dam in there? And the answer is you. The consciousness has a power. Literally, the power of will. The power of will is the concentration of consciousness. If I hold a magnifying glass up to the sun, that gets concentrated power, doesn't it? It can burn things. Not normally it doesn't. Consciousness is everywhere. If you concentrate your consciousness, focus it on something, it creates a power. And that power has the power of will. That is the power of will. The concentration of your consciousness. So when mommy and daddy get divorced, just pick that one, I could pick anything, it's uncomfortable in there. Things have to change. You understand that? And so you concentrate on it. You fixate on it. It's not that you don't ever think about it. You think about it all the time. I don't like that it happened, and I don't like it. I don't like my stepfather. I don't like my stepmother. I don't like that I had to move, and I don't like to have 2 Christmases. I don't like it. What are you doing? You're focusing your consciousness on that event. Are there other events going on in your life? Of course. You're still in school. You got friends. You got this. But no, you don't. You're focused on that. And that focus of fixity of consciousness is a power. Wherever consciousness is focused, there's Shakti. This is ancient stuff in the yoga tradition. They talk about consciousness and energy. But they use one word, Chit Shakti. One word. We use them as separate words. Chit, consciousness, Shakti, power, force, all right? No, they are Chit Shakti, right? Just like they used to think there was electricity and magnetism. Any of you guys know anything about physics? They thought there was electricity and magnetism. They were separate forces. And they realized they're the same force. They're the same thing, called electromagnetism. They are the same force. If you approach it from this angle, it's electricity. Approach it from that angle, it's magnetism. They create each other. You can create electromagnets, and it creates magnetism. You can get a turbine that has magnets with a coil spinning inside, and it creates electricity. They're the same. It's the same thing with consciousness. Consciousness and energy are the same thing, Chit Shakti. So when you focus consciousness, which is what you're doing all the time, all right, you're conscious. When you focus your consciousness, you are projecting power. What power? God's power. Chit Shakti is what created the universe. So you're focusing that. That's so neat. We philosophically talk about what's written in the Upanishads and the Puranas and all that kind of stuff. But no, you're doing it every day. You do it from inside of you. Forget what everybody else said. You're a conscious being, and you have the ability to focus your consciousness, don't you? Generally, you focus your consciousness due to distraction. Something comes in, it distracts your consciousness to it. You're not willfully focusing it. It's being distracted by the events that are taking place. And there you are. Welcome. And so you're being distracted by your likes and dislikes. But when you focus your consciousness, it creates a force. And I'm telling you, and someday you will go deep enough in meditation to see it yourself, that when you don't do that, when you're open, completely open, everything passes through. You just be here now, it just comes in and it passes through. It's all the experience of life. You're experiencing your life. Divorce is part of your experience of life. Marriage is part of the experience of your life. I love you is part of the experience of your life. I hate your guts is part of the experience of your life. Everything, yin yang, everything is part of life, isn't it? By definition. In the Gita it says a line, I love this line of the Gita. Krishna says, I don't understand what's so complicated. If something is, then it is. If something's not, then it's not. What's so hard about that? Because you bring your judgments into it. That's not supposed to be. But it is. It's not fair. It doesn't matter. It's hard to listen to, isn't it? If it happened, it happened. Why are you judging it? What are you going to do? You have to accept that it happened. We can deal with it afterwards. We can look at it and see if there's ways we can raise the world and do different things. But if it happened and you resist that it happened, you can't help anybody. You will be of no use to anybody. Oh my God, there's blood. I can't handle blood. No, I can't. Well, then you're not going to help anybody that's bleeding. I can't handle war. I can't handle that people treat each other this way. Then you're not going to be able to help because you're resisting so much that you're unable to bring light and love into the situation. So a wise being understands this. I am in here and events take place. I have a choice. Accept or resist. Accept or resist. My tendency is to resist what doesn't feel good. If it comes in here and the vibration is not nice, I push it away. I push it away. And so do you. I push it away. No. What happens when you push it away? I don't have to go into psychology. It stays in there. Why? For the same reason the Colorado River can't flow downstream. Because there's something damming it. And what's damming it is your will. And there's only one reason that there are psychological imbalances inside. That's called a blockage. Ever heard of the word blockage? You're blocked psychologically or something, right? How did you get blocked? You did it! There's nobody else in there. There's nobody else in there. I tell you, it's a single occupancy apartment. You're the only one in there. Should I feel guilty that I blocked something? No, guilt's just another problem. It's just another weird thing to do inside. There's just acceptance or resistance. And we know resistance very, very well. When do we resist? When it's not comfortable. Is it true that things cannot be comfortable? Is it true that somebody can massage you and it feels good, or somebody pushed too hard and it feels bad? Is it true that somebody can say words that are really... Here, watch this. You say to somebody, I love you. Intimate moment. I love you. I love you so much. I've never loved anybody this much my whole life. Yeah, I love you too. I don't understand. He said, I love you. Or she said, I love you. No, not like that. And so you resist it. And that's the end of that relationship. Okay, so you're in there resisting. And when you resist, I'm telling you, it stays in there. If you don't resist things, they don't get stuck in there. Because you are the only power inside. So what you do, however, is when it's not comfortable, you do resist. And when you resist, it stays inside. I go into this in the new book very, very deeply. It's something I saw back in the 70s when I first started to teach. I realized, wait a minute, energy comes in. It feels like energy, doesn't it? It's got power, it's got force, it's a vibration. And it comes in, and it's trying to pass through. Why? Everything passes through. It's just the whole universe, every moment, keeps changing, passing through. How can that energy stop? Because you resisted it. And I saw that, because it circles around itself. A circle, energy can move in a circle, can't it? It's still moving. It's just around that. That's what a samskara is. That's literally what a samskara is. It's a blocked pattern of energy, karmic seed, a blocked pattern of energy that you're putting your will against, and therefore it has to move around the wall of the Hoover Dam. In this case, it swirls around itself so it can keep moving. Isn't that pretty neat? You got those in there, don't you? Well, how do you know they're still in there? Because they come back up by themselves. When you're asleep, when somebody says something that reminds you of what Father said, somebody comes and says to you, my God, Mary and Saul are getting divorced. And it brings up this, oh my God, the poor children. And it brings up all that stuff that you have inside. It all comes back. You start crying. Well, hello. You got some stuff in there. That's what we call it. You got some stuff in there. Somebody else says, oh, I hope they're all right. I mean, let's give them a call. You're not giving them a call. Because all that stuff that happened, you couldn't handle when you were young, got stored in there, gets hit, and it comes back up. That is that energy activating. And so it then becomes a prominent force. And what do? You push it back down. You do everything you can. I don't want to see you, man. I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're a bearer of bad news. I don't want to talk to you. I need to be alone for a while. So what are you doing? Just try to push it back down. Push it back down. Okay, so you understand you're in there, conscious, and you're using your consciousness to resist what doesn't feel comfortable to you. And then that creates a pattern that you will really feel uncomfortable. And that will determine your whole life. If you're not careful, and you're not, that will determine your whole life. It will determine who you like, who you don't like, what you like, where you want to live, whether you want to get married or not, whether you have another child, what kind of job you like. Why do you have passion? Why do people feel passion for certain things? Because they got blocked in those areas. Somebody, a very nice life coach, talked to me once. They said, I try to teach my people to go after their passion. I said, that's beautiful. I try to teach my people, why don't I have passion for everything? It's an amazing world. You're sitting on a planet spinning in the middle of nowheres. It's quite a place. We haven't found anything on any of the planet. You won the lottery, the biggest lottery that could ever be, way beyond super jackpot thing. You landed on a planet that every single moment of your life there's something going on. There's colors and sounds and things. Go to Mars. Don't bother. It's like go live in the desert somewhere. It's like, it's crazy. There's nothing. We've looked at everything with all these telescopes into Hubble. We haven't seen squat. Not an amoeba. Nothing. And you got all this stuff going on around you, and you're nothing but trouble. Nothing but problems. That's because you did this. Because you resisted this stuff, and you built it, and every day you're resisting stuff. Not just divorce or big thing. The fact that somebody didn't say hello. The fact that somebody was nicer to somebody else than you. The fact that somebody has a car that you wish you had. The fact that somebody got the corner office. The fact that somebody got the raise and you didn't. The fact that it's raining when you have to get out of the car and deliver something. It wasn't raining 5 minutes ago. Why does it have to be raining? The fact that the driver in front of you is driving slower than you want to go, or faster than you want to go, or the one behind you is trying to go faster, the one in front of you going too slow. None of it's okay. The fact that the light's about to change and you're in a rush. It's yellow. Should I go through or not? We are weird. And so basically you have this stuff, these patterns now inside that you don't realize it, you built them. But it's not blame. You shouldn't be ashamed that you did. It's kind of natural to put your hands up and push away what's not comfortable. But I'm telling you what's going to happen if you do that. If you push away what's not comfortable, it's going to stay in there. And you're going to be not comfortable more. If you store every single thing that ever disturbed you inside of you, what's it going to be like inside? Disturbed. And you have stored every single thing that ever disturbed you inside of you. Want proof? Go to 20th year high school reunion. Every one of those people that you see is going to bring up something from the past. I remember when she did that. Oh, she was my best friend. You start hanging out together with the ones you were friends with. They're not the way they were in high school, but it doesn't matter. It's coming back up in you. Wake up to what's happening. Otherwise, it's going to run your life. This is what it means to have karma run your life. It's not a punishment. It means you stored stuff inside of you, and they get activated when things hit them, and you either feel good or feel bad, and then you act accordingly. So you're letting your past run your life. In fact, not just your past, you're letting the part of the past that you couldn't handle run your life. What if it was positive? You can't handle that either. Oh my God, I fell in love with her. I love her so much, it's unbelievable. But she has to go to Europe. How will I see her? Oh my God, this is terrible. No, love is wonderful. No, not if it's not the way I want. I feel so dependent upon this person. He's so good to me and it's so wonderful. What if he dies? What if he's not here? What if he runs off with somebody else? Oh my God, I better get a backup plan. I better get somebody on the side that's just some kind of backup. Cover myself. Laugh all you want, guys. We are weird. And that's why. Are you weird? Okay. Anybody worry about things that haven't happened yet? Okay. All based on what happened before. You project them out. All right? So inside, we're scared to death. You're scared that things won't be the way you want. You're scared that things will happen that you don't want. Are you scared that you won't get what you want? You're scared that you have a bucket list and it won't happen, or that you have plans in life. Well, what if they don't happen? Okay, that's it. I'm telling you, both the positive and the negative drive you crazy. Is it true that if you ponder on and think about that something you don't want might happen, does it bother you? Is it true that if you ponder about something that you want to happen, that it might not happen, does it bother you? Well, my God, you just covered all quadrants of the truth table. No wonder you're bothered. We're bothered. And it's because we stored this stuff inside. And now it gets stimulated, and we're like robots. We just run after that. We run after all these scars that we built inside. All right. How to be okay? Now that we've painted the picture, is there a way out? Yes. Yes, there's a way out. I told you, spirituality is very simple. Not simple to do, but simple to understand. You don't need all these weird teachings and all this stuff. If the problem is that I stored this stuff inside of me, then the solution is to not store the stuff inside of me. 1 equals 1. It's not complicated. I'm telling you right now, if you didn't have that stuff stored inside of you, you'd be enlightened. Why? We've talked about the negativity that happens because you store things you don't like inside. What we haven't talked about is the real effect that has. Remember I said the Hoover Dam, now you have to maintain it and everything has to be right? But that's not the real problem. The real problem is a river there that used to flow somewhere. And, it was natural that it flowed there. Okay? I'm not saying it's terrible they built the dam, but there's a price. The price of you storing that stuff inside of you is you have a river flowing inside of you. That's to call it, you're going to call it a river of joy, a river of ecstasy. You do. You do. You do. I assure you. Why is it not flowing? Because you're blocking it. Those things you hold in there block your natural Shakti flow. They block the natural flow of spirit. Call it whatever you want, whatever name you want to give it. How do you know? Start getting rid of it and see what happens. You will start feeling joy. Why? No reason. That's the nicest joy there could possibly be. And if you're happy for no reason, you're the happiest person that could ever live. There's just joy. There's ecstasy. Because that is what you're made of. That is your natural state. You don't have to do anything to get it. You just have to stop damming everything up so that it won't flow. So when I say if you were to let go of all these blockages to be enlightened, letting go of the blockages in and of itself is not enlightenment. When the energy is flowing up so strong, let's go there for a second. I'm telling you, every one of you have torrents of overwhelming joy and love pouring inside of you, so strong that they will sweep your consciousness away and you will cease to have an ego. You will cease to pay attention to this stupid thing that you keep staring at called me. I, me, mine. It's so beautiful that it washes you up. And the great ones, the really great ones, got washed away enough, not to where they're saying, oh, I feel Shakti, or, oh, I've reached a high state. No. There's no I in there anymore. Why? Because the consciousness can't focus on the mind and on the heart. You can if you want to, when you need to, but you can let go. And all of a sudden that Shakti flows up enough to where your sense of consciousness, which now is staring on your individual mind and individual thoughts and individual emotions, that's where your consciousness is stuck, gets washed away and falls into the ocean of consciousness. Meher Baba says, my consciousness was a drop, like a drop of water, staring at me. It got washed away. Take a drop of water and drop it into the ocean and find me that drop. Never. It's called merger. The word yoga in Sanskrit means union. That's what it's talking about. Your consciousness stops staring at something that keeps it separate, and therefore it merges back into the consciousness, which is God. You're a very, very great being beyond your comprehension. You're not great because you did something good, you helped somebody, or you built something, you invented something. No, that doesn't make you good. It just makes you a little tiny little thing on the tiny little planet. Come on, give me a break. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. And you did something on the planet Earth? There are 300 billion stars in your galaxy. That's 300 billion suns. And 1.3 million Earths fit inside one of those stars. Can we keep talking about this now? Right? I have to finish. And there are 2 trillion galaxies, all of which have hundreds of billions of stars. What did you do? What went wrong today? Do you see how little you've made yourself? You have a relationship with those galaxies. Your consciousness, I don't want to say it because you don't understand. Your consciousness is the force that created every one of those galaxies. When Yogananda had to read autobiography, when he fell into my first experience in cosmic consciousness, a chapter in the book, he felt his body was all the galaxies. He was speeding at the speed of light out to the edge of the universe in every direction at once. Why? Because that's who you are. I met somebody, I had the honor, I've met some great beings, but this is just a regular person, all right, who had that experience. His name was Edgar Mitchell. He was an astronaut. He went to the moon. He's the one who founded IONS, Institute of Noetic Sciences. He's an engineer. He went out there and he was in the capsule, and he told me that when he was coming back, he was alone in a capsule, being pulled behind, whatever it was, and he had a window that he could look out, and he emerged. He had a transcendental experience where he felt he was one with the whole universe, period. And he came back and devoted his life to figure out how that happened. What is the relation between consciousness and form that if they can merge? And he founded Institute of Noetic Sciences, IONS. Maybe you've heard about that. And they try to study how all this took place. But isn't that neat? An astronaut, MIT graduated astronaut, right? Those are serious, intelligent people, right? But he had the experience. And what did Christ say? As I sit by the throne of my Father, that's not a seat, it's a seat of consciousness. As I sit by the throne of my Father, so you shall sit by my throne. And these things that I do should do these and even greater things. There's a part in James where, just amazing, I forget the part, but where he starts talking about, may they know oneness in thee as I've known oneness. We are all one in each other. May the magic of oneness. Oneness was used like 15 times in the paragraph. That's what all your great ones have taught you. You are not a human being. You're staring at one. You are not a TV screen. You're staring at one. You are not a vase. You're staring at one. You are not your body. You're looking at it. You're experiencing it. You are the experiencer, the consciousness, which is transcendent to this entire thing, but you're staring at it. Somebody wrote me the other day and said that I don't understand your teachings because you say that consciousness is in the body. No, I never say consciousness is in the body. I say consciousness is staring at the body. A light is not in the object it's shining on. It's illuminating the object, but the light is completely independent of the object it's shining on, isn't it? Your consciousness is completely independent of what it's looking at. If you look at this Kleenex, do you become the Kleenex? No, you're the consciousness looking at it. Well, you're also looking at your body. So your consciousness is a very, very, very great thing. Well, why don't I experience that? Because you built these blockages to the flow of your energy flow, and you're staring at the blockages. You're staring at your mind with its preferences and hopes and dreams and concepts and views and opinions. So basically, you come to the point where you understand the spiritual path, including enlightenment, is very simple. I'm blocked. How did you get blocked? I blocked myself. If I'm not blocked, what happens? There's a free flow of Shakti, beautiful flow of energy that starts to pour inside of me. And eventually it gets so strong that I have trouble staying out of it. It keeps pulling me back into it. It's pulling me back into it. And if you let go, and very few have ever let go, but the ones who did all came back and said the same thing. Didn't matter what religion they were, didn't matter what tradition they were. What did they say? My Father and I are one. Somebody said that, didn't they? My Father and I are one. In other words, this separate consciousness is really part of the entire consciousness of the whole universe. Okay? That's who you are. And you're piddling around like a beggar, trying to get someone to love you. You want love? Wave your hand across your heart when you're open. It will pour love, will pour out of your being for as long as you want it to. Open up. Open. You're closed. I'm closed. I'm closed. No one loves me. I know they don't love me. They never really did. I always got hurt. I don't even know why anybody would love me. I've done so many wrong things. Okay, now let's go out there and find someone who makes you feel love. You're doing every single thing you can inside to not feel love. And all of a sudden somebody, oh my God, I've never felt so much love. Well, that's a problem. It's not that he or she is the solution. That's a problem that you never felt love like that before. All that happened was that this person came into your life and they hit your samskaras just right to where you opened. And when you opened, whoa, the flow of energy came pouring up inside of you and went out toward that person. And you say that's love. That is not love. That's a momentary state of becoming unblocked because the person looked a certain way, acted a certain way. Have them treat you differently the second time you see them. See how much love you feel. Have someone come and tell you when you're madly in love with this person on the third date. Oh, slow down. You better talk to Sally and see what he did to her. How you feeling next time you see the person? Filled with love? Not a chance in the world. You're the sum of your learned experiences, and her telling you that was a learned experience. It was just one more learned experience. And the next day she says, oh, he didn't realize it was April 1st. I was just kidding. Now, how do you feel? I'm so sorry. This is crazy. Do you understand that? And you think it's rational. No, it's not rational. You're closed, and certain things tend to open you because they hit your stuff just right, and they leave some room. Have you noticed when you're open, you feel better? Have you noticed when you're closed, you don't? Well, then stop closing. I can't. Yes, you can. You built these blockages. You got this stuff in there. Get it out. That's your spiritual path. That's what's causing the problem, and that's the solution. And so you learn to be open. How? Don't even begin to touch the big stuff. Don't even try. Don't even look at it. Why? Because you can't. You don't stand a chance. You don't even stand a chance. All you can do is push it back down or get weird or get depressed or go into all kinds. Leave it alone. You know, you got to deal with it. It's in there. It'll come up sometimes. Just when it comes up, what do I do? If my heart starts beating real fast, when I think about something, understand those are your blockages getting hit. Those are your blockages getting hit. I'm serious. That is the energy getting disturbed because it's hitting the blockages, and that's how it's expressing itself as a disturbance in your mind, disturbance in your heart. Don't blame it on anybody else. It's you. But you're not ready to get rid of it yet. How do I get rid of it? Same way you learn to play the piano. How do I learn to play the piano? Start with the scales. Don't start with Beethoven or Mozart, please. Just start with the scales. You want to learn to play the piano? Start with the scales. You want to learn how to not store stuff inside of you? Take your everyday experiences, The tiny little ones. The driver in front of you is not driving what you want. They didn't use their blinker. The light changed when you didn't want it to. You have to get stopped by a train and you're on a rush. Or the weather's not what you want it to be. It's too hot, it's too cold. Or it's humid, my hair got all frizzy. Just things that the only reason they bother you is because you said they do. Some people frizz their hair. They like it. You decided you didn't like it. So therefore you don't like the humidity. Therefore you don't like the weather. Therefore you don't like Florida. Therefore I'm going to move to Arizona. But there's rattlesnakes. I don't like rattlesnakes. Oh my God, no wonder you're neurotic. So what do? You start with that stuff. I call it the low-hanging fruit. The stuff that happens in your life that the only reason it's disturbing you is because you said they do. It's not actually, nobody's hitting you. There's nothing happening. You didn't get thrown out of your job. The house didn't catch fire. Your parents didn't get divorced. You didn't get divorced. Those are big things. So don't worry about that right now. Start with your scales. Can you handle the fact that the driver in front of you did not put their blinker on before they turned? Or do you have to get upset about it? Can you handle the fact that this happened, that the rain happened? There's these things that happen. And they're bothering you because you said they do. How do you know it's low-hanging fruit? If you stop saying it bothers me, there's nothing for you to do about it. You have to go talk to anybody. She took 1/8 of an inch further than I thought the hair was going to be cut. Fine. There, it's over. You have to sue her. You have to glue it back on. You have to get a wig. You have to do anything. You have to tell everybody, I didn't really want it to be cut this short. Because you know why? Because you're embarrassed. You just sit there and say, good, fine, it'll grow. It's over. It's over then. I'm begging you. Will you learn to do that? If you will learn to work with that stuff, the simple stuff, next thing you'll know is the thing that was a little bit bigger starts to look simple. All of a sudden you can play twinkle, twinkle instead of just the scales. Why? Because you got better at it. You got better at letting go. That's what I call it, letting go. You got better at not resisting these things that are just so stupid that you're resisting, that you're bothering yourself about. Wait till you see. People around me all the time. I had no idea I was doing that. You're doing it all the time. Well, while you're doing that with little stuff, don't you even dare try to handle the big stuff. Not a chance in the world. Learn to handle the little stuff. How? I don't care. Do a mantra. Breathe. Meditate. Use affirmation. I love it. I love people that don't use their blinkers. Oh my God. Somebody's driving slow, really slow, and you're rushing. They can't pass. They're 10 miles below the speed limit. Come on, drive a 15. Hey, I've set 20. All right, Guinness. He's going 20 to 55. Come on, baby. Have fun. You're the person that's making it not be fun. Have fun. And if you do that, guess what? Something a little bigger is going to happen. And you have trained yourself to let go. You trained yourself to say, I ain't coming down over that. Hey, Sally, how you doing? She keeps walking. What did I do? Why is Sally not talking to me? Is she cold? What are you doing? You don't know why she didn't say hello. Good, fine. You don't know. You don't know a lot of things, by the way. There's a lot of things you don't know. That go on every moment all over the earth and the universe. I don't know, think about them. Fine. If there's a problem with Sally, we'll find out. If she'll come say something, eventually it'll show up. Don't worry. Let it go. You start at the simple stuff and you work with yourself and make it fun. It's a video game. And you just keep letting go. You keep letting go. You become a letting go machine. Well, what happens then if something bigger happens? You understand what's happening. The block was bigger than this little thing, and I'm having trouble with it. That's fine. It'll pass. If you sit there and give it some space, sit there and say, it's okay. Yep, I hadn't thought about mommy and daddy getting divorced for 20 years. And because this brought it up, I see it. What does that mean? It should inspire you. I've been carrying this thing inside of me for 20 years. Mommy and daddy are dead. And now it's not true that it wasn't there before you said something. It was obviously there. And it was blocking my energy. It's all blocking your energy flow. You want to grow spiritually? Let go of the blockages. Don't go to a forceful spiritual practice. I got to do this and go off here for 3 weeks and do something. Okay, you can do it if you want. It's fine. What really works is you willfully being conscious and letting go. Because then you learn to do it. Not you had some experience that distracted you from it or made you feel good for a minute. Because you're coming right back. Because you didn't learn to build the natural releasing. I need you to sit there and say, this is stupid. If there's beauty inside of me and I'm not feeling it because I blocked myself, the answer is not to find some way to feel it anyways. The answer is let go of blockages. You'll feel it all the time. I guarantee you'll feel it all the time. What about chakras? They open by themselves. No, you have to know their colors and their sounds and their gods and goddesses, and you have to worship them. I don't know anything about any of that. All I know is the Shakti wants to push your stuff out of the way. She wants to push your stuff out of the way. She's always trying to push up. That's what Christ meant when he said, I stand at the door and knock. Whoever will open, I will come in. That's what he meant. He is a spirit, the Shakti, that power is always pushing up. Trouble is, you're in the way, and therefore it pushes your stuff up. And you try to push it back down. If you will let go and learn to let go and learn to open and learn to use every moment of every day of your life to let go of yourself that's blocking you from everything you want, you will feel the chakras open. They will open. You're a very great being. You've been told that, haven't you? You're a being of light. You're a being of love. You are. But you stored all this stuff inside that's blocking it. Get rid of that stuff and you'll know everything that everyone ever tried to teach you. Want to get rid of that stuff and work with it. And then what will happen? You'll let go of the little stuff. You'll become stronger, more powerful. And at some point, something big will come up. And you look at it and you say, I am not going to trade off this joy that I feel. I'm not going to do it. And so the whole key is relaxation. You relax in the face of the disturbance. Why? If you don't relax, you will participate in it. You will resist it. You will fight it. You'll do something with it. Try to rip it out. Try to push it down. If you relax and keep your hands to yourself inside, oh, it's hard for you. Something coming up. Your hands in there, don't you? You push things around. Sit on the hands and relax. Just relax. That's the time to do mantra very deep inside while that stuff's coming up. And what are you going to find out? It will make its way through. You made me cry. It will make its way through. It's not comfortable to sit in that hot seat. That's called the fire of yoga. That's the real fire of purification. It will purify your heart. It will purify your mind. Because the only reason it's impure is other stuff in the way. Shakti will push that up. She will do it all by herself. And you'll go through some really deep things until eventually you go through the white hot fires and you sit through them and then it will never close again. There's this constant upward flow of Shakti pouring through you all the time, all the time. There's no depression, there's no fear, there's no anything. There's just this tremendous flow of Shakti. And if there is something that comes up, she washes it away. That's who you are. Muktananda used to hit a mic at this point. He didn't speak English very little. But he said, don't be a beggar. You're not a beggar. You're the king, you're the queen of the whole universe. You're not begging if someone will like you. That something will happen that makes you feel better. You see what that means? I hope this helps you. I start off by telling you the spiritual path is very simple, isn't it? Stop storing stuff inside of you that blocks you. And then trying to figure out something outside that will make you feel better. And be willing to go through the process of purification. Just like people go through withdrawal that are hooked on heroin. It's not nice, but they do it, don't they? They get their life back. Go through that withdrawal of yourself. Jai Gurudev.